of Tonga.
Maloelele from the Kingdom of Tonga.
Maloelele is the final day of the Pacific Community's 55th meeting of the Committee of Representatives of Governments and Administrations here in Nukuʻalofa, Tonga. Known as the SPC, the organization is wholly owned by Pacific communities governed by our esteemed Pacific countries and territories from across the region. The organization helps implement the priorities of countries in areas of agriculture, fisheries, cultural safeguarding and climate change. The organization undertook review of its ministerial meetings to better understand their effectiveness and impact for our communities. These are some of the reflections elevated by our countries, including our own Chief Executive Officer, Elisa Iaika.
Climate change is not a distant risk. It is already here, significantly reducing crop production and yields, eroding food security and livelihoods, and striking our core. In other words, the Pacific's resilience, which underpins our survival and the future of generations to come. If we want a resilient Pacific by 2050, we must invest today in knowledge, in systems, and in people. Most of all, we need a collaborative and work together.
Culture must be recognized and integrated across all policies, all programs, and all resource frameworks. As a standalone priority, culture preserves our heritage and serves as a legacy for future generations because it forms the foundation of our identity, which is non-negotiable. We need a bold, comprehensive review of funding mechanisms because culture is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And it deserves an investment to drive and thrive.
The review was conducted by an external group to ensure the findings were robust. It has 7 recommendations broadly, found that ministerial meetings are effective but need better engagement of inclusive agenda setting and more youth engagement from the outset.
The agenda that some of those meetings are having on, which I know many of the sectors do try and connect their ministerial meetings to some of those global or other regional meetings. So we absolutely recognise that there are lots of efforts trying to make this happen at the moment. We really found that that perhaps by having this annual reflection session that we could really bring together the learning across the different sectors, and we may see that different approaches can be used, and ideas and learning happening from different sectors.
In terms of the review and how it dealt with small island states, we welcome the recommendations that came in there. For example, when you're looking at a dedicated and participation fund, one thing that we are trying to avoid in our small jurisdictions is to have one person who starts to attend everything. That doesn't work for us. What we're trying to do is include others as part of our succession planning, so we do welcome that.
We especially appreciate the focus on supporting smaller island communities. Guam also highlights the importance of ensuring that meeting agendas and outcomes genuinely reflect member-driven priorities to sustain Pacific ownership of regional processes and uphold the shared vision of the Pacific.
We are also mindful of limited resources and capacity constraints of many governments. Coordination between the Pacific community and respective foreign affairs ministries could be improved, especially where senior officials' meetings and ministerial events are concerned. And we look forward to working closely with SPC on this.
Reporting from the Kingdom of Tonga at the SPC's governing body meeting and conference, which is the Pacific's largest scientific and technical organizations owned by our communities, I'm Elisa Helu.